I'm Shahar.
And I'm Nash, and this is BuzzBooster.tv.
This broadcast is brought to you by Mozy Pro. Hey, we have a lot of cool things to talk today.
We do!
Yes, we are going to talk about the new Google Search Plus.
Oh, yes!
And of course, why you should be using Google Plus.
The impacts on your business.
Yes, some cool tools that you can use in order to help you with that. Yeah. And the last step of our negotiation process, remember we've been talking in the last few episodes on how you can become a master negotiation. We are going to talk today about how to tie the knot.
That's right, how to make that sale.
Yeah, enjoy it. Well, big news coming out of Google this week, right?
Oh yeah, big news.
Google released the Google Search Plus. It actually has a long name, weird game, My World, whatever, right? But the very important thing, the thing that we want to talk to you and how it impacts your business is Google Plus.
Yes.
Well, now when you go to Google...
Wait, before we even go there.
Before?
I really love that we're talking about this now because a lot of businesses, a lot of people were saying, no. I'm not going to try any other network.
Yes.
Facebook and Twitter, that's it.
Yes.
No, Google Plus, I don't even want to know about it.
And we've been plugging Google Plus
for a while
some of its
now.
features for a while because we thought this has a lot to do with business.
Yes.
Yeah, and now really you have no choice.
That's right, and I love it because we've been, like you said, we've been plugging it for a while, and folks were, no, we're not going to do it. I don't even want to hear about it. And Shahar's like, no, you have to do it because of this and this and this. Well, now, really, you don't have a choice. Just listen.
It's going to impact your findability in the search engines.
Yes.
And let's not forget
on Google
that when people are looking for you on a search engine, and most of the searches go to Google,
yes,
they are a very hot prospect. They are looking for a solution to a problem, and
something
if they find
specific.
you, that's when you really can go right to a closing here.
That's where you get a prospect, right?
Yes. And what's happening now with the Google Search Plus is that in any social keyword that you type, okay, it's going to show content feature on Google Plus. It can show on the main body and it shows on the right side. It suggests people and everything. If you're logged in when you do the search, so if you have a Gmail account and you're logged in, you are going to see that it pulls results from people that you're connected and companies, of course, that are connected with you on Google+. If you're not logged in, it's going to suggest you some content and some people inside Google+.
So let me in review, okay? So think of the yellow pages back then. Back in the day, people needed something. They'd go to the yellow pages, they'd look it up, and they'd give it a call and da-da-da. Well, Google and other search engines, but primarily Google, they are nowadays yellow pages. Someone needs something, they go on Google. What Shahar is basically saying is, you know what? Now when someone goes on Google and does a search, Google will give Google Plus results, will feature them on the Google search results page. So essentially, you need to have a presence in the Google Plus environment so that your things, your business, your things come up in the searches in Google when someone searches.
Yes, and there was another episode where we talked about having the Google Plus business page for you, which is possible now. And you know, now you really know why, right? Because that's going to impact your findability.
Yes.
At this moment, Google is of course benefiting Google Plus over Facebook and Twitter.
Which is interesting because remember how we were talking before of how way back when I think we even did a show about it, how the Twitter messages would come up in the Google search results. Well, that doesn't happen anymore because, well, they're gonna promote their own tool, right, instead of Twitter.
Yes. So now you know the reason why you really cannot wait anymore. If you're the kind of person that you wait until everybody else is on board, well, you know, it might impact your business. So you want to start. But since we are on the topic, let's give them some tips about Google Plus.
Good.
Because it's actually, you know, fun. I find it really fun. I find myself being there a lot more than on Facebook today.
Yes.
We explained before that it's a different kind of relationship that you create. It's passion-based relationship. If you have interest around the topic, that's the perfect place for you to be. And the quality of the information tend to be extremely relevant, right? So, for example, we both like photography,
right?
We are into wildlife photography. Tell me one thing that you like a lot about Google+.
Well, you can do the searches. So similar to, tell me if this is what you were thinking. Similar to like in Twitter where you have the hashtag, the little pound sign, and you do something and then it pulls up just searches of that related topic. Well, you can do the same in Google+. So like we'll do the bird photography. It's bird poker, whatever, that's the hashtag that we use. And then up comes all of these results about photography, specifically bird photography.
Yes.
And there are hundreds of things, and a lot of participation.
In many cases, in many groups or passion-based, interest-based groups, they also have the challenges, like this one that you mentioned.
That's fun.
Well, the cool part about the searches is that when you have all those people, you can save them. So every time you are interested again in knowing about wildlife photography, you click on the wildlife hashtag and you have everything
you save
updated.
it in a circle.
Yes, so it's almost like a group, but not so much, right? But it's fantastic.
But what's the benefit of that?
And the challenges that you have there, well, with the photography, for example, because they have different challenges every day, I get to show my pictures and expose myself. If I was a professional photographer, which is not the case, but I have this ability to showcase myself to a very large group.
And keep in mind that we're using photography as an example, but there are tons of other things there, of course.
You know, it's interesting because inside Google+, you basically have 3 types of people there.
Okay.
You have what they are called curators, so people that organize this kind of challenge or groups. Well, these people are usually professionals and they want more exposure. Hint, hint, hint.
So, may I?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I know you gave the hint. I'll just basically say it. So, if there's a topic of interest that's your field, that you're an expert in it, well, why not start a group, become a curator of that group, so that other people who are interested in the topic will participate in.
Yes.
But now you're the owner, you're the leader of that crowd.
Yes. And then you have other people that are really passionate about that. Many times they are professionals and they want to get some exposure out there and put their opinion, critiques and things like that. And you have the third kind of audience. There are just people interested in the topic. Okay, so you have 2 opportunities actually there to promote yourself without promoting too much, right? We don't want that. We want to be part of that conversation, especially because they work really well with topics based on interest and specific interest.
Passion-based, like you said.
There's another thing that I like about this hashtag groups is that a lot, you know that you inside Google+, you put your people inside circles, right? And you can have different circles for different purposes. So we have circles for prospects, for members of our group, I have for photography, I have for social media. So when I'm talking about photography, I really don't have to bug everybody that is not interested in that and only wants to hear about marketing. Same thing happens when I'm talking about marketing, which doesn't happen in Facebook.
No, it's a lot more clunky in Facebook. But so basically, I mean, if you wanted to talk just to your family, because that's something people always talk about, you could, and no one else will see it. Or if you just want to talk to the photography crowd, you can, and no one else will see it. If you just want to talk to the therapy crowd, you can, and no one else will see it. So it's beautiful that way.
It's beautiful that way. Even though I personally think that the family, you would leave them on Facebook because that's the perfect environment to get to know what everybody else is doing. Have deeper conversations inside.
Alright, I will unfriend Shahar.
Okay, I will unfriend you. You cannot unfriend me because that's the other cool thing. I can have people in circles and they don't have to have me in circles.
Yes.
So I can follow Nashla even though she might not be aware of who I am. Well,
and I don't need to follow her.
But my point was that many of these hashtag groups, they have circles that they share with other people. Okay, so like yesterday a guy shared one of the circles with me and he had over 700 photographers, women photographers in the US, right? And with one click I added all of them to my circle of digital artists. Okay, so think how powerful that is too when you're thinking from a business perspective. Very easy to gather people around an interest and then you can control a little bit more the conversation there.
Yes. So to make it really obvious, I mean, assuming that I had a product or something or a service or anything that would target women photographers, I could seriously go that deep with Google Plus and actually target just the women photographers.
Exactly. So see how powerful that is.
Very powerful.
Well, one thing you need to do when you're putting a post you're writing something on Google Plus, the very first thing you need to do is set that to public.
Public.
So other people can see. And then you set which circles you want them to see. So if you don't want the family circle to see or whatever, you just don't put them there.
But you want public so that it shows in the search engine.
Mm-hmm. If possible, you always want to add every single post you put on Google Plus with a picture.
Nice.
Extremely powerful environment.
Yes.
Right? It's connected with Picasa, the pictures that you put.
Yes.
Google Plus is just the best environment for photographers. So if that's your industry,
fun.
you really need to pay attention to that.
And if you like it, it's fun.
Yeah, and you can tag the picture with all the keywords that you think it's important. So birds, photography, you know, veterinary, whatever.
What's really interesting is that they're really tapping into all these different services that they own. Mm-hmm. So instead of just having your pictures in Picasa and having this over there, they're connecting, they're bringing it all together in one place.
Yes.
So it's really nice that way.
It's really nice. And now that this everything that is in there also gets indexed and impacts findability for people, I think it's going to be a game changer.
Yes, I think
really
so
do.
too.
And I do like the kind of conversations there.
Yes.
So I hope, any other thing that you want to say?
No, you mentioned the keywords.
Yes, I would do this. I would go there and I would type some keywords with the hashtag, just like you do on Twitter. Put the pound sign.
Yes.
Right. In front of the of whatever you're interested in, and
see
start
what comes
researching. Up. Start seeing the groups that show up and the things that you can do there.
Yeah, but just keep in mind, even when you're posting things, so if you know what your keywords are, the keywords that are relevant to your business that typically bring in clients and people who are prospects. Try to use them in your posts because remember, they're going to come up in the search engines.
But let's do this in a very intelligent way. Don't go there and just promote yourself because it's not going to work.
It's not. It's just you're going to be one more annoying person. No, you have to participate. You have to. You can't come off as, hey, I'm just here to promote my business. I just take. No.
Yeah, I would first ask myself, you know, in what I do. My audience, what are they passionate about? And doesn't matter which industry you are, you will be able to find a higher cause that they are all interested about, or subjects that most of your audience is interested about, and then start putting your 2 cents.
That's right.
There, instead of just say, oh, I'm a great person and you should be buying from me.
Or curate a group, like Shahar said in the beginning. It's one way to engage your audience and to talk about what you like to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, so I think about this topic we're done.
We're good.
Okay, let's see what's next.
Yes.
Well, when we are running a business, there are so many things we need to take care of, right? A lot of things, actually. But there is one that I noticed most people forget to do. Back up their data.
Should be simple, right?
Yeah, should be simple, easy, and fast. And let me tell you one thing, that can be a huge nightmare. In our case, we have Mozy Pro.
Yes, and Shahar, it's that thing. Computers, we rely so much on these things, but computers, servers, external hard drives, all of that stuff, at some point it fails. It's very interesting. In the US alone, about 140,000 external hard drives fail every single week.
Yeah, and you know what can be worse?
What?
It can cost you up to $10,000 to retrieve the data of one laptop or server alone. That hurts.
That hurts. Not to mention all the time they actually put into that whole process. Mozy Pro's secrets is that it's extremely easy to use the service, plus super affordable for companies of all sizes.
Yes, it is. And let me tell you one specific thing for the healthcare industry. If you're a doctor or a dentist, for example, you know how important your patient information is, right?
Yes.
Let me read for you a study that estimates that a single episode of intellectual property loss in the healthcare industry can cost nearly $18,000. Okay, think about that. Mozy Pro, for example, backs up your data to secure data centers, and Mozy can help you be HIPAA compliant.
Very good.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what, Shahar? Actually, during the backup process, it's all done with military-grade encryption, and it all goes to their world-class data centers.
It's amazing. So if you don't have Mozy Pro backing up your data, you need to take action right now.
That's right. So give our friends at Mozy Pro a call. In fact, if you use the promo code podcast15, it will give you 15% off. So give them a call, 877-669-9776. That's 877-669-9776. Or you can visit their website at moseypro.com.
Go to moseypro.com right now.
Wait, that's MOZYPRO.com.
Yeah, she just wants to show she can spell.
I want to have the last word always.
moseypro.com.
Hey, so I wanted to talk about today a tool that will help you figure out the keywords. So remember how earlier we talked about using your keywords carefully and intelligently in your posts in like Google Plus and such. Well, today I want to show you where you can figure out which keywords really are good aside from what you think are good, really looking at some numbers. So now keep in mind, once again, it bears repeating, you have to use it intelligently, meaning you don't want to go to the tool and just promote yourself and be super annoying and think, because it's not going to, in the end, it's not going to work. So, all right, with that said, the tool really, you probably already even know about it. It's Google AdWords, the keyword tool. So you can access the tool through your Google AdWords account, or you can just go to google.com and search for the Google keyword tool and it'll come up. I have a little URL that we did that takes us there. It's just buzzbooster.com/keywords. It takes you right to the location. So anyway, what you do there is the tool comes up and you put in the word that you think applies, that you think would be a word that a hot prospect would search for. So keep in mind, remember that what Shahar said, that people search for solutions to problems. Well, typically those are the types of key phrases that you want to research and see. So if it's a word that's too broad like business, it's probably not a very good word. But if it's like small business marketing, it might be a better word. So you would type in small business marketing in there and it spits out a bunch of results, essentially variations of that same phrase that people are also looking for. And alongside that list, it also gives you how many times it's being searched for each month. So, right? So now you know, small business marketing, it's being searched for 5,000 times a month. Of course, I'm just saying a number. So now you know. And then it gives you variations of that word, of what other words that people are typing. And you can also see how often they are typing. So now that gives you a better understanding of which keywords to use. The other side of that is, if you go to Google and you search for the very same phrase, so like small business marketing, it will tell you how many page results are there right under the search box. The one way of looking at that number is to think, okay, there are 3 million, it'll say 3 million page results. So one way of looking at that is, there are 3 million pages competing with my website, so competitors. So when you do that mix, so you search for the word, see how many times people are searching for that, and then you go on Google and you see how many pages are competing with that word. Now you have an understanding of how competitive it is and how much people are looking for it. So it gives you an idea of which words to go after. Meaning, if a word is there, like the other day I searched for, was it social media marketing or something? And it had 2 billion results. Well, that's kind of impossible for me to rank, although we are ranked on the first page. It's kind of impossible for a website or a business that's just coming along to rank on the first page because it's too competitive, even though it does have a lot of searches. So it just gives you that balance. So that's my tip for the day. Use the Google AdWords, the keyword tool, to figure out which words you want to target. And then when you are out there doing your blog posts and your articles and on Google Plus and posting your things and curating your groups, etc., you'll know which words to use to attract the right people, the right crowd for you, to yourself, to your circles, ultimately to your business.
So in the last few weeks, we talked a lot about how you can become a master negotiator and make sure you're closing more and more sales, right? There were several steps that we talked about, and if you missed anyone, just go to buzzbooster.tv and you're going to be able to watch them. Today we are going to talk about the last one, and I call this tie the knot. Okay, many reasons why I call this tie the knot. The very first one is, yes, it's up to you to propose, to ask for the sale. If you did all the other steps right when you were in the middle of this negotiation and when you reach the wow factor, it's just natural that the prospect will ask you, so how do we work together? Or can you show me how we could work together? And things like that. That's the perfect scenario, because really he's already sold. You just need now to show him the options in order to close the sale. But it happens that sometimes they don't ask. And it is up to you to go and ask for the sale without shaking the voice and without looking down because you're asking for money. It happens quite often that the moment we start asking for the sale, our voice shakes. We mention money and we look down, and what we are really doing is sending signals that we don't think we are worth that amount. So be very, very careful here. The second reason I call this tie the knot is because you should come to a negotiation with the intention of becoming a partner, and a long-time partner, and not just, okay, I'm going to make a sale and go to the next person. The whole relationship needs to be there in order for them to keep buying from you. So come to the negotiation with this perspective. I am going to become his or her partner, and we are going to be together for life. We are going to be exchanging value. I will provide services and products. She or he will provide me with money. And that's just fair. If there is an exchange of value, then again, there is no reason for you to be ashamed of asking for the money. You don't have to be pushy or anything, right? If everything was done right and the person for any reason didn't ask, so how we can work together, you just turn and say, let me show you now, or allow me to show you now how we could work together. Always working, or how we are going to be working together, even better, because then you're doing something called presumptive assumption. You are already assuming that she is going to buy and sending that message. So you can say, okay, so let me show you now how we are going to work together, and then you show them the options for them to work with you. I personally, even over the phone, I like to send them to a special page we have where we have payment options and the amount and everything else. I avoid saying you're going to pay this much and talking about dollars and things like that. I'd rather have them look at that. Not only because that creates less tension at this moment, but also because if they visually see the amount, they can start figuring out how they are going to afford, if they can afford, how they could be paying, what are the options, and everything else. So you give them the time they need to think. And once we show that, what we really do is shut our mouths and allow the client to think, because it's necessary. They do need to think, you know, if they're ready, if they need money, if they are going to need a loan, or whatever is the case scenario there. And also because at that moment they will see and maybe they will voice some objection, which is just part of any negotiation, shouldn't scare anybody. And then you can just deal with that objection, whatever it is, right? Not attacking the objection, that's not a good approach, but just showing another side. So they might say, oh, but you're very expensive, or you're more expensive than a lawyer. And you can say, yes, and what is the cost for you of not doing this? How much would that be? See, so you can balance that objection, showing another side of the picture. Okay, so this is how we end the negotiation. We tie the knot. We really propose for a long-time relationship with that new partner, and we show them what are the options to work with us. Then we stay quiet in order to allow them to think a little bit. And also in negotiation, there is a saying that whoever breaks the silence, because silence is very uncomfortable, really is the weaker part of the negotiation. I'm not looking for that when I give them the time to think, because I'm giving them time to think. But the silence plays a role here. It's a moment that people do feel uncomfortable with, and it does help you close the sale. Okay, and then deal with any objection that might be in the way, if there is any, and say which option would be best for you. And they, again, presumptive assumption, you were assuming that they are going to choose one of your options. Do not work with many options. We avoid working with more than two, okay? Because if you overwhelm them, you lose the client. So ask which option will go better with you, and now if you give me your information, we can start working together. That's it. That's how you tie the knot. It's simple. There are really no mysteries, but it's extremely powerful. You know, just think, if you can improve your closing rate in 10%, how much money will this mean in the end of the year, for example. Okay, so go, if you lost any of the steps, go back to BuzzBooster.tv, watch the other episodes, because you're going to become a master negotiator.
That was great!
It was, right? A lot of good information now for you to go implement.
Take action.
Yes, and then your business can grow. Woo! Woo! Don't forget to, and you know what?
What?
If you want to get a very cool audio program on how to have an irresistible business, all you have to do is go to
bestbuzzgift.com.
Yes, see you next time.
See ya.